Hello and welcome to my channel, Mind Power. I'm Lauren and I'm here to help you learn how to rewire your nervous system. So in this video series, I am talking about people who influenced me in my healing journey. And the second most influential person or entity would be Abraham Hicks, which is channeled by Esther Hicks. And what that taught me was how to use my emotional guidance system, that feelings are feedback, not problems. And here are 6 of her strategies to help you create the reality you want. Now, I'm going to start with number 1, which is law of attraction, which I'm sure you have all heard of. Like attracts like. It's not words or actions. It's your emotional state, which is a vibration. So whatever vibration your body is emitting, you are going to attract that like. So if you are in a pretty good mood, you are going to attract pretty good situations into your life. If you are in a shitty mood and your vibration is lower, you're going to have more issues like going to work, traffic, bad drivers, nasty people. And that's the idea behind that. So let's see. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you feel like most of the time. So most of us are caught in a loop. We are doing the same things every day, the same routine. And, there's really nothing wrong with that, especially if your life is going how you want it. But I do feel like it's important to break that routine up sometimes. It allows more room for the unknown to come into your life and perhaps give you a different, perspective. Maybe you'll meet some different people. Say you're a person who likes to go to a coffee shop every day. You always go to the same one. Maybe one day a week, go to a different one. I'm a very routine person, but I do make a point to break up my routine, whether it be 1 week a month where I totally go off routine, or, one day a week where I'm not doing my thing, like coffee even. I won't drink coffee 1 day a week just to offset that routine and change it up. That way I feel like I can allow some different ideas and mindsets, because if I get locked in, then I'm just repeating the same thing and nothing's really changing in my life, which, is fine. My life is where I want it to be right now. Obviously, it could always be better, but it's not bad anymore. So I'm totally content where I'm at. And that's a good feeling, but I'm not really attracting anything else into my life to elevate my emotions more or bring new experiences into my life. It's just kind of the same thing day in, day out, and that's fine. So I obviously need to work on some of this stuff too, so I can be a little more elevated in my life experience. Her second is the emotional guidance system. This is the most practical way to understand that your emotions are not a problem. If you're having good emotions, you're aligned with your higher self. If you're having bad emotions, you are disconnected from that higher self, that higher energy realm, right? You're thinking against what you truly want. So she uses an emotional scale, and, at the bottom being depression, then above that, like anger, there's fear, overwhelm, frustration, hope. You get up into like appreciation, joy, love, freedom's the top, right? So obviously we all want to live at the top. But by design, and also by way of coming to what I believe is like our earth school, we are going to run into challenges that may pull us down into some of these emotions that, they're not good. So you can't just jump from depressed to joyful. it doesn't work. You have to step up the vibration. You know, each higher vibration is a little higher. So it's very hard to go from down here to up here all at once. But it's like a game. You can bring yourself up. So say you're really depressed. Like for example, this winter was like a 6-month long winter. It was terrible. It was like 20 degrees out. You couldn't really do anything outside. And it just sucked. And, you know, I think a lot of people are to the point of getting depressed. So instead of being depressed, just get mad about it, get pissed off. Like I'd start punching your pillow and being like, fuck this shit, fuck this weather. I hate this. I'm so ready for spring. And you're getting all that out. And now you're in anger, right? Which also doesn't feel very good. And it's not very good for your body to remain in long term. But you're out of depression. So now you're pissed off and you're angry. So now you can kind of think, okay, what's above that? What's a little better than being angry? You know, overwhelmed. Okay, well, I'm like so fucking overwhelmed because I can't do anything outside. I feel like I'm dying. I need some light. You know, what do I do? Like overwhelmed, like frustrated, like everybody's getting on my nerves. Maybe I'll like look something up on the internet to help me with this. Oh, okay, I'm looking up on the internet. There's happy lights and stuff that'll, you know, help me get the sunlight that I need, that I'm missing, that is so good for my cells. Okay, well now this is giving me hope. So now I'm not as overwhelmed and frustrated. I'm more hopeful, like, okay, maybe if I get this light and use it, it will help me feel a lot better. And you know, so I get the light in the mail. Now I'm feeling appreciative. I'm like, oh, thank God they make things like these. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do. And, you know, now I'm thinking more appreciating thoughts. And, you know, I'm starting to feel like I have more control. I have more freedom. So you can see how you can bring yourself out of a lower state into a higher state. And that's what this work is about. It's about recognizing your feelings, not judging them. Just, it's a feedback, you know, and getting your way out of it. So, you know, if you're having a bad feeling, it's always best to think back and think, what was the thought that I just had? Because your thoughts are creating your feelings. And if you can nip these thoughts in the butt and stop thinking them, because guaranteed 80% of your thoughts are the same thoughts that you're thinking over and over again. You're probably totally unaware of them, especially if you are altered and conditioned into your brain. But you can stop that loop. And now you know, well, this feeling just created this frustration or overwhelm feeling. Let's flip that thought. Let's make that a better thought so I can feel a better emotion. And that's the game of that, right? Third of her concepts is the vortex. Now this one was a little hard, still is a little outside my box to understand. But the vortex is the receiving mode. It's the energetic version of everything you want, and it's already created. So if you already have a thought like, I want more money in the bank, it's already vibrationally created in, I don't know if it's the 5D or whatever, but not the 3D. It's already formed. It's already vibrationally there. It's already vibrationally real, right? We can't even perceive all this stuff. We only perceive a very tiny bit of reality. So I know it's a lot to wrap your head around, but your job isn't to create it now. Like, okay, I want extra money. Most people, what do? Let's try to get some extra work. Let's get that extra income. What do? I need action steps, right? Well, this is where she says your job is to feel good, get into alignment, you know, with these higher vibrations. And now that you're in a higher vibration state, such as, you know, hope, appreciation, you will start to align with like certain things where you will be at the right place at the right time. You'll meet the right person. You'll click on the right video. You'll just, boom, have this like awesome idea that comes out of nowhere. And this is how the universe vibrationally aligns everything to fall into place. So if you're constantly like focusing on, why isn't this here yet? Why isn't it here? I thought it, I created it, it's not here yet. Well, for one, you're in resistance. You're resisting everything that's coming to you. So you're supposed to just relax and trust and know that it's done and it's coming. All right. So yeah, just what keeps you out of this vortex is obsessing over it, trying to control every step, right? We are kind of by design trained to think we're in control anyways, and try to control, like, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. If we don't do this, this doesn't get done. But this is kind of a more lead with inspired action. And how do we have inspired action? Keep that vibration, better, more aligned with positivity, clarity, hope, content, happy, joy. So you got to reach for relief, not perfection. And, know that stress is going to happen and it's okay. It's also just a vibration that you can do all sorts of things to shift it out of your mind and out of your body. These are all just signals that, like, where you're at, and know that, like, I don't walk around, I'm not happy all day long, every day. When I was doing her work, I couldn't do anything at all. Like, I was stuck at the house. I had no energy. So all I could use were my thoughts. And once I was able to train them to think positively about everything, I did feel elevated emotions like all day long. And it was awesome. Like, I was so joyful. I was so happy, even though my life was absolute, it was very difficult and challenging with the health issues that I was dealing with at the time. I had never felt so joyful and at peace in my life. It was wild. But now it's not like that anymore, because I'm out in the real world again. I'm living my life. I'm working. I'm, pursuing goals, challenges, and I get knocked off a lot. And, the work is always to catch those negative thoughts that I still have and sometimes don't even notice. And I'm like, why am I thinking that? All right, let's flip it. Let's change it. Let's try to bring the energy back up. Like, I'm only hurting myself. So find a way to change it. So you're always going to be working on this, but it's so worth it, because you feel like, for one, you can control, and you're not like a victim. Like, if somebody is, being very disrespectful to you, you energetically, you won't take in that negativity. You'll be able to block it out more and just kind of blow it off, like, whatever, it's them, not me. So learning how to control your feelings and be aware of them. And, I don't mean control like, oh, I am mad, I can't be this. No, be it, feel it, release that energy, get it out, and then move on to the next, right? Okay. So here's some tools you can use to help, manage your emotions, train your feelings. And this one's called the Rampage of Appreciation. I really like this one. It's just a rapid fire of appreciation. Is that a word? Of appreciation to shift your vibration to a higher state. And it's fast. So all you do is you just start listing things that you're appreciating. For me, I find this works best when I'm outside, especially in nature, because there's so much to look around and just be thankful for, especially after a long winter. So you can start by like, oh, these trees are so beautiful, and oh, I love these little birds and their little songs, and wow, this grass is so green, and I'm so thankful I have this air to breathe. And you just keep going, anything you can think of, just to keep the momentum going, just to appreciate. Now, say you're not in a good place in your life and you're struggling to find things to appreciate. Like, once again, why I always use like outside, because like maybe your living situation's very difficult and you're surrounded by nothing that really appreciates you. Well, then you got to kind of turn inward to yourself. You got to appreciate yourself. Maybe you don't like yourself right now. Maybe you have guilt or shame. Feel like you're not worthy. First of all, know you are, and you're divine. And just find anything to like appreciate that you're still here. You're listening to this video and you're fighting. You're fighting because you're not going to let all that bullshit that happened to you win. Appreciate that. Appreciate that bullshit that happened and take that and use that for fuel to set the fire that is going to be your life of, like once you uplift yourself, you're going to begin to uplift others. And it's a snowball effect of good. You got to find anything. I struggled with this at first. So I would write things down just to have the list. I mean, it'd be like stupid things like, oh, I appreciate these socks, or, pets are really easy because they're kind of unconditionally loving us at most times. So they're easy to appreciate. Good food. If you have like a good friend, to appreciate their qualities. But the point is, you just keep rapid firing. You can think it, you can say it out loud. Both emits the frequencies, and you can actually feel yourself building up. You'll feel the chemicals release from your brain into your body and your bloodstream, and you will feel the heart open and you'll start to feel better. I also love doing this on drives. I used to get real nervous driving, and that was one of the tools that I used, was just like looking around and like appreciating whatever sights and stuff I've seen. And I'm lucky to live in a really beautiful area where there is a lot of nature and a lot of stuff to appreciate. Okay, number 2, the focus wheel. This one's a fun one, and I've done tons of these, and they do help. It's best when you're stuck in a negative thought. So how it works is you get a sheet of paper, and you're going to write down your current belief in the middle of the paper. And then around it, you're going to write better feeling thoughts. So it can't be fake ones. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It has to just be a little better feeling. So example, let's use like money. I feel financially stuck. Around that, you can write things like, things have worked out before. I'm learning new ways to improve my finances. Money can come in unexpected ways. And you just start building that around the thought until now you're not looping that negative thought. I don't know if you've ever had looping negative thoughts, but they're really annoying. And you're trying everything to shut it off in your mind. Well, this will force it out. And it's wonderful for that. All right. And also it helps you gradually pivot your beliefs. So maybe you don't feel anymore like, oh, I'm not financially stuck. Maybe I'm in a transition, or I'm in a learning phase, and everything is going to work out. So now your beliefs changed, right? And that's such a better feeling than to feel that negative belief. Number 3, this is a fun one too. Segment intending. So this is like before you start your day, an event, like, how the day is kind of broken down into segments. So for example, say you got to drive to work. So get into your car and you segment intend. You intend what you want to happen. It's like pre-paving the way. So I'm going to intend that my car is going to work perfectly and there won't be any accidents and traffic will flow smoothly and I'll have an enjoyable ride. Or there's a meeting. I intend for this meeting to go well. I'm going to walk in confident, well-spoken, and feel in control and enjoy myself. Intention to wake up in the morning. I intend to have a productive, enjoyable day. You can do this for anything. And it's just really setting your mind up for what you want to have. So you're in a more vibrational state that you want to be, instead of say you're in a meeting, you might be nervous to go do that presentation or whatever. Well, instead of thinking these worrisome thoughts that probably aren't even true anyways, you're thinking like the thoughts of how you want it to go. I'm going to nail this. I'm going to be confident. This is going to go great. I'm going to enjoy it. And that's a way better way to start your segment. And it all takes practice, And then number 4, scripting. So this is like writing as your desired life has already happened. So example I have here is, I love how supported I feel in my life. Money flows to me in fun and easy ways. This trains your nervous system to feel it now. So you're just, you could do this once a day, in the morning, before bed, whenever, and just write whatever event. Say you're going to a wedding with a bunch of family that you don't really like all that well, or this person is always giving you a hard time. Well, write the script of actually what you wish would happen and see what happens, right? Because when you go into a situation and you're thinking negatively and you're expecting bullshit, you're most likely going to get it. And I've tried this and it works. I was actually very surprised. And it actually fixed a relationship that I didn't have with someone that I wanted to have, but felt very against having. And then I decided, you know what, it would be nice to have this relationship with this person. How do I want this to go? And, within a few times of doing this, I don't know what happened. It's like we both shifted, right? You can also do this as a revision shift. So say you didn't handle a situation in the most graceful way and you kind of regret it and feel a little off about it, and there's really nothing you can do to go back and change it, right? Well, you can. You can write what happened, but how you actually wanted it to happen. And what this does is it will release the emotional charge from that situation. So for one, you're not spiraling about it and thinking, oh, I shoulda, wish I coulda, all that. It will rewire your memory. Your brain doesn't know the difference between truth and reality. You can tell it anything and it doesn't know. It's a computer system basically, right? It'll help you repurpose patterns. Like if maybe you're doing the same pattern over and over again, if you keep rescripting it, eventually you can break that pattern using this method. All right, before sleep, you can write a short script, read it. You want to feel it. You usually want to feel it. You want to create these vibrations, these feelings to make it more real, and it will sink deeper into your subconscious. And number 5, she's very big into meditation. Now, meditation is something I will be talking about a lot. And I actually started meditating with her method. And her method is short, 15 minutes, turn a fan on and focus on that noise, right? And just kind of, if you can, clear your mind, keep your focus. Obviously, you're going to have thoughts. You bring your thoughts back to the fan, try to blank out, then more thoughts come in. And it's practice and it's normal. Our minds are going fast. So this is a good way to practice slowing your mind down. And when you do this, you'll also be able to catch all these negative feelings I'd say negative thoughts that maybe you're not even aware of, that you're subconsciously thinking, that's creating these shitty feelings throughout your day, right? And so that's the method behind that. It stops resistant thought patterns. There's all different types of meditations. So if this was something that you wanted to try and maybe you quite didn't like it, well, there's a whole bunch of other different ways you can meditate. And like I said, I will be discussing that pretty in depth, especially in the course that I'm going to be offering, because I believe that's a huge part of upgrading your biology and becoming, living the life you want to live and you deserve to live and that you were meant to live. All right, number 6, pivoting. This is a fun one. So when something unwanted happens, instead of saying like, why does this always happen to me? Pivot to, what do I want instead? Okay, like this shitty thing just happened to me. What do I want instead? Like right there, you're putting out in the universe, like, I did not like this. This is a learning moment. What do I want? Do this with every unwanted experience, because it's going to open up clarity of actually what you do want. Like say you got in a fight with your partner. Well, now maybe you don't even understand what happened, but you can think about what you did want to happen. And then that's going to open up the clarity of your actual desire. So I'd say she has books on this. They're pretty good. But obviously, a lot of people live busy lives. There are more than these techniques in the books. These are just the best ones that I thought for myself. Obviously, what works for me may not work for you. We're all different. I would say if you want results, just pick like 3 and try to practice them and have fun with them, for a month or so. Look at this as like an experiment on yourself, I would say number 1, just really notice how you're feeling. If you're not feeling happy or content, think about, what was I thinking about before I felt this emotion? And once you can train your mind to do this, it'll be a lot easier to stop thinking the thoughts that you don't want to think, that aren't true. And that's your compass to where you want to go. If you're down here and you catch it, and you can shift it. You can shift it back up. And all you have to do is reach for a slightly better thought. It doesn't have to be life-changing, Like, example, I've been getting down on myself lately because I've been pushing really hard in athletics. And I keep having these looping negative thoughts of like, oh my gosh, like, why do I keep getting hurt? And how comes people twice my age can, do these sports more often than I can, and they're, drinking alcohol and eating crappy food, and I'm like doing all the things to take care of myself, and they're not doing any of the things, and here I am hurting and busted up, and then I start to spiral, right? And then I'm like, oh, I don't feel so good. Now I'm kind of getting anxious. What was I just thinking about? Oh, all these negative thoughts that suck. I don't want to think that. So now I got to reach for better feeling thoughts. Okay, well, maybe I'm still holding on to some trauma in my body, and that's why I'm like feeling so sore. Maybe I'm just overdoing it. Maybe this is my body's way of telling me that I need to slow down. I guess I am doing a lot more than these people, even though I may be taking better care of the vehicle. I'm still, putting out more output. Maybe, with time, and I slow down and take some breaks, I'll feel even better than I did before. And then I can start thinking like more appreciative thoughts, like, well, I'm very thankful that at least I can do all these sports and I can get through these workouts, because there was a time when I couldn't do anything. Gosh, I do appreciate where I'm at, and that just makes me feel better. And then it starts to give me more hope of the future being better. you know, and I also got feedback. I'm like, if something's not working and I'm like all beat up, then my body's trying to tell me something, right? Which I discovered was I just need to slow down. As much as I don't want that, I think it was necessary because it allows me to pour more work into other things like what I want to be doing here to hopefully, you know, help humanity become better, happier, and, you know, who doesn't want to live in a world with a bunch of content, happy people? I know I do, and that is the goal. So, all I can say is the more you practice, the better you will get. Don't be hard on yourself. Like, you're going to have days that are harder than others. It's totally normal. All this is just a way to figure out where you're at, how to bring yourself up higher. You know, if you are a pretty content person, you know, work on bringing yourself up even more to a higher elevated feeling, you know, and it's very easy when you're content to start doing these rampages of appreciation, and you'll feel that chemical dump. And when you're in that high vibration, that's when like the magic happens. That's when you're going to have like amazing ideas from your higher self. You're going to find more of your purpose. You know, and then the beautiful thing about it is, you know, I think a lot of us feel like, oh, I'm nothing special. I don't really do anything. I'm not really helping anyone. I just go to my job and, you know, I take care of my kids the best I can and whatever. I do some things for me for fun. But reality, especially vibrational reality, when you, as your being, is elevated in frequency and your heart's expanded because you're feeling love and appreciation and joy, that ripples out. And it's not just affecting you, it's affecting everyone around you. So that is the biggest gift you can give to others, is just by taking care of yourself, your inner self, so you can vibrate at this higher frequency and affect other people. You don't even have to say or do anything. Just you being happy and feeling great is helping others. And just think about the ripple snowball effect that could happen if we're all doing this, at least if we're all trying, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I believe that good things are in store for the future. There's a lot of fear out there right now, but I believe that we are in a time where humans are starting to learn their full potential. Everything, all the shit that they try to hide from us, try to take away our power, try to keep us in fear, try to keep us low in frequencies with our bullshit food system, all of it. Like I think it's all going to change because people are starting to learn all this information, and it's so easy to get now on social media. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for staying tuned with me. If you found any value, please thumbs it up. It helps the algorithm. Like, share. I feel like the more people that are helped by this information, the better we can all be. Please drop a heart in the comments. Any questions, I'd love to engage with you. Like I said, I've been through a lot, so I've got to do all these processes, and they do work, and it takes practice. Stick with it. I love you. You are worth it, and you are worthy. Good day.